What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Not for Debate. You know, I got my guys here, Havoc, Shake Money, and you see Banks has finally made an appearance after about a week, 2 weeks. So after to his start against the Los Angeles Rams, we finally get to hear from Banks after all.
I know
So
everybody's been
Banks,
waiting to hear from me.
absolutely. So I'm gonna go ahead and let you have the floor since people were just so anxious to hear from you of
People
your
really
thoughts
were
of
anxious
that
to hear from me
game
for
too.
real.
Absolutely, because you was talking that big stuff
I
before.
no, okay. Let's be clear here. I did say that the Dolphins had a chance. I did say that. So all I said was it doesn't seem like they played anybody. They up until you guys playing us, you had played who? The Jets and who else was before that?
49ers.
The Niners.
49ers.
Yeah, Buffalo.
So, I was a little bit skeptical, but I did give you guys the benefit of the doubt. Like I said, the last few weeks, the Rams, in my honest opinion, my team has not looked the best. I feel like we've regressed a little bit. I feel like McVay has gotten very predictable with the play calling. And as I always say, when McVay is on, the Rams are on. When McVay is off, we off. That also goes to point with Jared Goff. But yeah, I'm not going to make it so much about the Rams. I'm not going to make any excuses, anything like that. By the way, it's good to be back here with you guys again for another episode of the podcast. Sorry I was away for a little bit. I had a lot of personal stuff going on that I needed to take care of, but I'm happy to be back with you guys. Mm-hmm. Chat, I'm happy to be back as well. The Dolphins look good, man. Just to recap that game, I actually was not expecting the game to go like that. I do feel like when I look at the stats on the Rams versus Dolphins game, I do feel like the Rams kind of gift wrapped the game in a way. I don't want to take anything away from the Dolphins because you guys, especially defensively and special teams, you guys are clicking like no tomorrow. I think that's probably one of the best defensive performances we've had seen all year long, considering McVay is considered an offensive guru, and it's very hard to keep him inside the box. Got to give my hats off to Brian Flores and the Miami Dolphins defense. They started off fast and early, and once the avalanche rolled, it was rolling. So plus Goff was just making mistake after mistake. Offensive line was just not on par. The running game couldn't work. I mean, that game I got to give it to the Dolphins. Defensively, you guys smothered us. It was very, very bad. Now the offensive side of the ball, I didn't see a lot of growth that week. I did see a little bit of growth from the Miami Dolphins last week against the Cardinals. The offense seemed to be a little bit better. They seem to open the playbook a little bit more with Tua. I see kind of where the offense is heading. I see that read option starting to come alive a little bit.
He's got a little wiggle, you know?
Yes. That's having a mobile quarterback just makes it so in today's evolution of football, you kind of need somebody with a little bit of escapability to kind of add an extra dynamic to the offense. So, But yeah, man, big win this week for Miami. This past week against the Cardinals. I mean, look, if I'm not mistaken, I think the Miami Dolphins might be undefeated against all NFC West opponents so far this year.
1-3.
Yet.
3-1.
3-1.
3-1.
Oh, Seattle. Seattle got one against
Ryan Fitzpatrick cost us the game against Seattle.
I mean, technically, y'all should be 4-0, which, that's considered the best division in football. And the Dolphins are 3-1 against the best division in football. So that tells me the Dolphins are for real this year. I'm going to have to start getting on the bandwagon a little bit, start to maybe pick them a little bit more. Maybe they'll start losing.
Nah, that's okay. Don't do that.
I think the bandwagon's more than full.
Don't do that. No.
I got I'm on the show I had. I had a show yesterday, and I pulled up the official Miami Dolphins bandwagon transfer form. And man, the forms they're piling up, bro. They're piling up.
Yeah.
It's interesting that you, especially with the Rams game, there's enough tape, but there's also enough statistical evidence out there that'll tell you if you put pressure on Jared Goff, that boy will fold up like a like a chair at a church auction. I mean, they hit him with that zero blitz over and over again, and he never had an answer for it. But although you look at the final stats of the game, I mean, he threw for yards. Like, yeah, he put up a ton of yards, but they were behind, so it's a little bit of empty calories,
Mm-hmm.
But Dolphins once again laying it down, showing everybody the vision, showing everybody how a rebuild's supposed to look. Quite a few franchises need to take notice, particularly you got particularly teams like Washington just drafted Dwayne Haskins. Now they benched him for I don't even know what they're doing in Washington, but either way,
Kyle Allen is done for the year, and then now they're rolling with Alex Smith, which
man,
I feel like it's kind of poetic justice.
Kyle Allen was done when he was playing. But that's a very interesting. I don't see Washington isn't doing anything this year. What benefit are you getting from playing Alex Smith outside of the setup for the comeback player of the year award?
Well, again, the division is very close. It's only like who's winning the division right now?
They still got a shot, man.
Let me ask you: is the division leader in the NFC East? Does the division leader in the NFC East have a winning record?
No. Nobody has a winning record.
Okay, that division is trash, and it really is anybody's. It's up for anybody at this point.
Right.
Hefty bag division.
I feel like the Washington football team are the most complete at this point, though.
Well, no, I don't think so. I think defensively they're probably the best team in that division defensively. But I still have to say, to me, I'm gonna probably sound crazy for saying this, but I think the New York Giants are the best team in that division right now. They just have a terrible record. They lost a lot of close games. If you look at their season so far, a lot of those games, the Giants could easily have a winning record, 5-2, 6-1 right now. Seriously. So
yeah, but if you look at that defense and you look at their quarterback, you understand why they've lost a lot of close games.
Right.
Danny Dimes with them fourth quarter interceptions, man. It's killing them every game.
Yeah. But I do see improvement with him. I do see improvement. I do see, besides the interceptions in the fourth quarter, like you mentioned, he seems to be a little bit more composed in the pocket. He seems to have his pass. He actually throws a pretty nice ball. When you actually see him throw the ball around, like everything is a spiral, is right to where his head is supposed to go. It's just sometimes he throws into coverage.
Yeah, it comes down to that decision making though. You know? And I think I said this yesterday. Daniel Jones kind of reminds me of Eli Manning without the good stuff. Like a little more athleticism.
Wait a minute. What was the good stuff with Eli? Tell me what that was.
Well, the fact that he turned into Seabiscuit when the playoffs start and just runs away and it just turns into a totally different quarterback. Like that's plus Eli has had some good seasons, particularly when the Plaxico Burress, Victor Cruz, Tiki Barber towards the end of the line.
Tiki Barber is a Hall of Famer, and
he is.
What?
Is he in the Hall of Fame?
He's a Hall of Fame running back. I think he's a Hall of Fame.
But is he in the Hall of Fame right now?
He's not in the Hall of Fame, but he's a Hall of Fame running back. I'm just saying at this point for the Giants, you got Devontae Freeman. He's battling injury, and right now you're dealing with Galliman as your running back right now. So
yeah, Wayne Gallman Jr.
There's not really a threat in a rushing attack.
He was going to be better coming out of college. He was pretty good at Clemson.
Oh well, when you look, going back to Eli though, when you look at Eli, his two playoff runs, he had a fairly nice rushing attack. The first time it was Brandon Jacobs and Ahmad Bradshaw, and they had another back, something Ward, and the second go around. Who was the running back the second go around? But both times the rushing attack was pretty good, where you had to pay close attention to him, where you didn't have to put too much pressure on Eli.
Yeah, Bob Bradshaw. Bob.
The second Super Bowl run, it was. I don't think it was it Lamar Bradshaw?
It was Brandon Jacobs and somebody.
The first time was
Bradshaw.
Brandon Jacobs. First time was Brandon Jacobs. Brandon Jacobs left for the second time.
Lightning, you remember?
Yeah, Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Earth, Wind, and Fire.
It was Jacobs, Bradshaw, and Ward. That's what it was. That's the first goal. And then the second time had to have been just Ahmad Bradshaw. I don't know who the other back was, but at this point, Daniel Jones doesn't have that luxury of having the Saquon Barkley in the backfield. So clearly his flaws are showing a little bit more than
But I
what we're
think with
accustomed seeing.
Saquon, they have a better record.
I will say though, Daniel Jones also doesn't have Tom Coughlin breathing down his neck, setting all the clocks in the building early, being kind of, just generally speaking, being kind of a weird authoritarian figure. Didn't really work out too well in Jacksonville. I don't know if that franchise is any better off with Tom, now that Tom Coughlin was in charge of that franchise. So, although Tom Coughlin, he won them Super Bowls. I can only say so much.
Well,
he got 2 rings.
I will say with Tom Coughlin, I feel like he was like the last of a dying breed of like that strict coach too as well. That played a big factor. I remember watching an interview with Michael Strahan. He was talking about like how it was O.C. Manure. They was like Tom Coughlin was a very, very strict coach, but when it came down to that one Super Bowl run that they had, he was like real laid back because at that point he just didn't care. It was going to end up being his last season with the New York Giants, and they didn't end up winning anything. So they
you got to remember each time the New York Giants, which is so crazy, each time the New York Giants where Tom Coughlin was expected to get fired,
he came out winning.
He won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, but also, I mean, think about it. You got prime Michael Strahan. You got Justin Tuck. You got you got Pierre Paul, and you got O.C. Omenora, and you're just rotating that all game long. Boy, I'll win a couple games of that. Yeah. Give me Eli Manning, I'll win a couple games of that.
It was hard for him. The NFC East was very, very competitive at that time.
Let me ask: Did Eli throw any interceptions during that playoff run?
No, I don't think so. I think it was only like 1 or 2 interceptions the whole playoffs. He was playing out of his mind.
Mm-hmm.
The same with Joe Flacco.
Yeah, man. These guys, man, they lock in for about 3 or 4 games. That's why I'm saying, particularly talking about the NFC East. Whoever comes out of the NFC East, I don't think they're winning a playoff game. I think you can book that right now.
I do.
Who in the NFC East are they gonna be in the playoffs?
Well, I think it's gonna take a team for them to like extremely sleep on them for them to win this playoff game. But considering the fact that we have an extra seed in there, I feel like it's really gonna weed out who's good and who's bad. And also it comes down to what team is on a roll for real. Because like let's take the Baltimore Ravens, for example, last year, them coming off that bye week. Nobody was expecting Tennessee to come in to win that game. And then you could blame it on rust. You could blame it on the Baltimore Ravens not being ready for the football game. But it clearly showed like the Tennessee Titans were coming off a run, going off of a 4-game winning streak, coming off a win against the New England Patriots. Was that in Foxborough? Was that in Foxborough?
Yeah, it was in Foxborough. I think the Titans, once they got that win against Tom Brady, I think they said, okay, the Giant Slayer is done. Because that's always been the end all be all. If you beat the Patriots, technically your road is clear.
Yeah, you in.
Same with the Chiefs. When the Patriots are out, what happened? The Chiefs just went, oh, this is us. This is us now. We got this.
It's interesting because the Giants, they won 2 Super Bowls within 5 years, yet no one considered them a dynasty.
I'm just saying the road for them was very, very easy, though, to be honest. Let's just think about it.
the way they won the Super Bowl, though. I think
they were wild cards both times.
I think if the Giants were more. Right. I think if the Giants were a little bit more dominant in the regular season,
they were wild cards
to the playoffs, they would have been considered a dynasty. But given the fact that they kind of just scratched their way in the playoffs every time they won a Super Bowl, it was kind of like, how do we consider this a dynasty? It almost seemed like it's too good to be true with the Giants. But
it's kind of like the Marlins, right? The two previous times they went to the playoffs, they were wild cards, won the whole thing. This year was the only year in franchise history the Marlins made the playoffs and didn't win the World Series.
Right.
Same thing. Although when you're talking about expanding the playoff picture, Yeah. So are we still under the rules that the division winner gets one of the top seeds?
Yes.
Yes.
They need to throw that rule out immediately.
Everybody's been saying that. Everybody feels like that because of how the NFC East is looked. That's why everybody wants it out because they're like, it's not fair that you might have one of those teams that's in the NFC West, like the Cardinals or Seahawks or whatever, that might not get a chance to go, and they're giving it their all every week to go out there and win. And then you got Washington and Dallas. And
although, particularly when you're talking about the playoff picture, I heard Lamar Jackson interview today. He was talking about how the opposing defense were calling out his plays before they even called the play. So it appears, what perils Baltimore in the playoffs is that they know what's coming. But it appears from this season, even though Baltimore has been successful, they know what's coming in the regular season, so they got something for them in the playoffs.
Right.
And if you really look, I know Lamar won the MVP last season, but if the decision is Lamar Jackson or Kyler Murray, I don't know, man. I'd have to say Kyler in that argument.
Absolutely. But the other quarterback can't throw.
I'm still on the fence with Kyler, man. I don't feel like
Kyler's a much better thrower than Lamar.
Yeah, but I haven't seen it. And when you look at Kyler's passing numbers at the end of the game, you actually be surprised how not good they are. He just has a good quarterback rating because sometimes he has big yards and maybe a few touchdowns. But when you look at his passing percentage, it's not like great.
I hear what you're saying. I mean,
He's
the
better
game
than
against
Lamar,
the Dolphins.
Oh, it's still better than Lamar. I'm just saying.
Yeah. The game against the Dolphins, he did all right. He did all right against the Dolphins. I know that much.
He played phenomenal against the Dolphins.
Yeah, man.
Did you hear about the situation where he walked off the field or something like that? He didn't.
Shake hands.
Salty.
Yeah, shake hands.
But I mean, I get it. I mean, I get it to a certain extent. Although, like, it's a game, you should just do the pro thing and just shake their hand at the end of the game. But you talking about a dude having the game of his life and he still lost.
Yeah.
He killed it.
Yeah.
Like me watching this game, I was like, man, that's what bad Bofo right there. Yeah, we cannot get off the field on defense. Like we had him like on third down multiple times, and he would like pull out some kind of Houdini play where he ended up picking up an extra 7 yards just to pick up that third down. Yeah. But I felt like after, I think it was Byron Jones who popped him in the fourth quarter. That's why I was like, that's got to be the hit right there to get him on alert.
Well, that hit, that was on the fourth down, right?
No. That was the one where he picked up the first. He ended up picking up the first, and then but at the cost of taking that hit from Byron Jones, and it wasn't no light hit. It was a nice hit.
He got him. He cracked him.
And I was like, all right, let's see what you're gonna do now, Kyler, in survival mode. He ended up still performing after that, but considering the fact that they ended up coming down to them having to kick a field goal due to them running the football to Chase Edmonds, which I didn't understand why they decided to hand the ball off to Chase Edmonds if Kyler Murray was running the ball with so much success. It don't matter to me at this point. We won the game, so I'm happy with Chase Edmonds' hands.
I hear you. I mean, I think particularly, most of them Kyler Murray running yards. I mean, that was off script. That was not them dialing that up. That was him avoiding a sack, breaking the seal, breaking that edge, and making that damage. But I mean, I would
probably say him and Lamar Jackson are probably the most elusive quarterbacks in the NFL.
Oh, without doubt, and he's small too.
Yeah, you just can't get him, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like our defenders are literally just diving at their legs at that point. I'm like, yo, we can't sack this dude.
It's crazy what Kyler Murray and Lamar Jackson do to defensive linemen and linebackers. It's crazy. It's not even fair when they get those feet. And I feel like that's kind of what's hurting Lamar Jackson. He's kind of regressed this year. I believe it's because they're kind of trying to turn him into the pocket style quarterback this year, trying to see how long he can stand there and make passes. That's not his game, man. That's just the guy is a football player. He's an athlete.
Well, he ain't gonna make it in this league if that's not his game.
No.
Well,
how can we?
I disagree because I agree because I disagree with you because look at Ryan Tannehill in 2016. 2016 Adam Gase tried to make Ryan Tannehill a pocket passer, and he fell on his face. He's in Tennessee. He's moving out the pocket. He's rolling out. He's being an athletic quarterback like he is.
Mm-hmm.
He's having success.
And that goes back to my point, Jake, because you can't put all this on the quarterback's shoulders for them to be able to make plays. Derrick Henry takes pressure off of that because they suck them linebackers in, they suck them safeties down for them to stop Derrick Henry, for them to do that. That's the same thing what they did with Jay Ajayi. Montana was pretty much a pocket passer in that 2016 year with the Dolphins. He rolled out upon occasion, but that threat of Jay Ajayi breaking off a big run was still an issue.
I mean, what do you mean? I mean, you also don't forget the Ravens they can hand the ball off to Mark Ingram too, and they have
and J.K. Dobbins.
That's understandable, but when it comes down to Lamar, he can't drop back and throw the football like 1, 2, 3 step back drop and throw the football. That's not his game. He can't do that at all. From what I've seen.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I think to go to our point, it's best to just let them play. I think they're trying to protect them for the longevity because of how impactful him being on the field, you got a shot. And I think they're just trying to limit the amount of contact, which I understand. They're trying to protect their investment and anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
But it kind of frustrates me that people have all these comments to make about him when, you know, he only had about 2 games this year where he looked like trash, like for real. Like, okay, he looked bad.
He looked like trash in almost every single game this year. Except for 2 games.
That's
2 games. If he ain't throwing the ball up for over 200 yards, he looked like trash.
But that's what I'm saying. If you go back and look at him last year, he wasn't lighting it up on the passing yards. Even then, it's just he just made great plays. Like he was a playmaker. Like he makes great plays, and that's what propelled him to the MVP. Yeah, he had some good games where he would put up a 300 burger, and that would be whoa, you know. But that happened maybe twice the whole season for him, maybe 3 or 4 times for the season last year for 300 yards passing games. Mm-hmm. That's just not his game. He's not a quarterback. He's not a.
Okay. Well, until he becomes a quarterback, he's gonna keep getting bounced out in the playoffs in the first round every single time.
That's not true.
Why not?
That's not true. That's not true.
It is, because
you also have to. What you fail to realize is this. What you fail to realize is, no matter how good Lamar Jackson is, he's just a player. We all know when playoff time comes, everything is amped up times 100.
Absolutely.
It just happens. The AFC happens to have some really good teams in the playoff times, just like the NFC teams. The best of the best is there. So you got to bring your A game, and you only get one shot to do it. So, I mean, get a guy a break, man.
He ain't getting a break. He ain't getting a break.
It's hard to give him a break, man, because after you win an MVP,
thank you.
It's the table's set.
Thank you.
So because he won an MVP.
Yeah.
Now it's just mandatory that he has to win a Super Bowl. Like he has to win.
It's mandatory for you to get out the first round of the playoffs.
Okay, I'll give you that, but it's not mandatory that he wins the Super Bowl.
No. I mean, the Super Bowl. You know, even Patrick Mahomes needed that defense to come through to win the Super Bowl. Right. You know, but Lamar Jackson's one of them type of players, man. He needs to scare the defense with his running ability first, so his passing can become effective. If he becomes one dimensional, it's like having a Ferrari that you just take your kids to school in. You know what I mean? Like if he doesn't have, even when Michael Vick came back after the dog thing, he was playing for the Eagles. He was primarily a pocket passer, but the threat of him running was always there. That's how that was deadly. That's
the thing, though. This is Lamar Jackson's first year ever. Let's just be clear here. This is his first year ever working inside of the pocket first. Become a pocket passer first, use your legs secondary. He's not that kind of player. It's the same thing happened with Michael Vick. That transpired over the years as he would continue to work with Andy Reid, and Andy Reid pushed that out of him. I don't think the Baltimore Ravens have a great setup like like Michael Vick had. He had a Andy Reid. They don't have that in Baltimore. John Harbaugh. Well, I mean they should because John Harbaugh is he's an okay quarterback in his time. But I don't picture John Harbaugh coming out there telling Lamar Jackson how to how they said because he's not an offensive guru. He's not like Andy Reid. Who would you rather have, Andy Reid or John Harbaugh? Like,
well, I think Jim Harbaugh was a quarterback. John Harbaugh was the special teams coach. So your offense is not his forte. And when Vic was up there in Philly, it was him and Chip Kelly actually. That were,
it was Andy Reid.
That was Andy Reid.
It was Andy Reid. It wasn't Chip Kelly.
The first year,
remember Chip Kelly came there and blew everything up.
Okay.
So
Vic was there for Chip Kelly though, right?
Donovan's last year was 2010, and then he got traded to the Skins in 2011. Kevin Cobb took the job, and then he got hurt that week 1 game against the Packers, and then Michael Vick came in.
Okay, that makes sense. Well, I mean, I think particularly, with Lamar, I mean, I think it's hard because his effectiveness is dependent. Like, it's not like Russell Wilson where he can just kill you from the pocket all game long. Like, his effectiveness is dependent on his running ability. Like, the total package is what he brings to the table. You can try and make him a pocket passer all you want, but you know what the optimal formula is for a Lamar Jackson good game. You know it's between 75 and 100 yards passing, 200 to 300 yards. 75 to 100 yards running, 200 to 300 yards passing. That's the optimal formula for him. So trying to make him a one-dimensional dude, especially when he's this young, it doesn't make a lot of sense to me, man. You gotta play to his strengths now. I understand that the playoffs becomes a different story, but his running ability is literally why he won the MVP. He didn't win the MVP passing, right? He won the MVP shaking dudes and breaking ankles.
Playmaker.
But you win playoff games by throwing the football.
And that is the problem he's coming up across.
That's not true. Ryan Tannehill only completed like 6 passes in the playoff game last year.
Because he didn't need to throw the football. If it's not broke, don't fix it. Why do you keep doing that?
Go ahead, Shake. I'm sorry, bro.
That's all right. Here's the thing. Telling Lamar Jackson to be a pocket passer is like telling LeBron James to all of a sudden just become a 3-point shooter. LeBron James is a good 3-point shooter, but he's not going to do that all game. That's not his bread and butter. LeBron has been great at the 3-point line, but he's not going to do that all game.
But it's a part of his game, though. It's still something that's a threat for the defense to sit back and look at. When it comes to playoff time, the defensive coordinators be like, all right, he can't do this. We're going to force him to do that. That's what it comes down to. And on the big stage in the playoffs, any sport, you're going to have to elevate your game. And if he can't throw the football, that's why you have Marquise Brown upset, because he want to get the ball. You're not going to win.
Open.
Yeah, but Marquise
Lamar can't throw out the pocket. It's just not going to be his all game.
First off, Marquise Brown needs to humble himself. Number one, he needs to stop thinking he's a superstar receiver.
He's a deep threat.
He's just a speed burner. That's all he is. He's not somebody that's going to dominate a game at the number one spot.
He's not Deshaun Jackson.
That's why they brought in Dez Bryant. That's exactly why they brought Dez Bryant in. Because as much as Hollywood Brown wants to talk and run his mouth, you're only as good as your quarterback. That's just what it is. Mm-hmm. So I hear him. I like Hollywood Brown. Don't get me wrong. He's from the crib. He's from the crib, but humble yourself.
I hear you.
You're not. It's not like Lamar Jackson has Tyreek Hill to throw the ball to, or Travis Kelce, or Sammy Watkins, or you don't have that.
Yeah.
You don't have that. He doesn't have it.
You can make the argument his best pass catcher is Mark Andrews.
Right.
Is like his number one target basically.
Right.
So
when the defense can shut down the tight end position and clog the middle up and whatever, take away that from Andrews, where's Hollywood Brown? Is he showing up? Because it ain't happening.
Is he looking at him?
I mean, particularly when it comes to passing. I mean, you know, Lamar, and this is just Baltimore needs to get better receivers, but he needs to get off that Mark Andrews as a safety blanket, because I understand he may be the only dude getting open, but I mean that whole that offensive strategy they have, they should
Kind of
be.
reminds me of the Tim Tebow offense, to be honest.
They honestly they should be basically like Lamar Jackson should be throwing no more than 25 passes per game. It should be a lot of Mark Ingram, a lot of J.K. Dobbins, a lot of Lamar Jackson using his legs as part of that run game. Man, they don't need him to be throwing the ball up too much to get into the playoffs. Now when the playoffs come, I understand why they want him in the pocket now. Is when the playoffs come, you're gonna have to put them on point, on time passes, and can he do that?
But that's not a switch you could just flip on. You can't.
That's
just
why
be
they're
like,
having him in the pocket during the regular season now.
yeah, and that's what I'm trying to say. The Banks, like,
he's not going to figure
he's
out how
not
to run.
comfortable doing that now. But if you put it on the shelf into the playoffs, he's not gonna do it then. So
I just think like I said, just to, before we go on to the next, I just think personally, I hate to see the experiment process where you take away. I'm just tired of the talking and the negative press that a guy is getting. Lamar Jackson, in my honest opinion, has done nothing to get all the negative press that he's been getting this year. It's crazy at the amount of haters Lamar Jackson has. It's crazy. To me, it doesn't make sense. The guy doesn't go out there and run his mouth. He doesn't talk junk. He just when you see him play football, how can you not cheer for a guy like this? He goes out there, he's literally having fun. And then when he at the end of the game, he gives you nice interviews. He's super humble. He's not like fat mouthed and like whatever. He's always saying, "Man, it's all about my team." Da, da, da. And then he got so many haters. It's retarded. I'm sorry, not retarded. That's not a good word to use. But it's just not. It doesn't make much sense to me. I don't understand it. I don't know what this kid did to all these people for people to feel this way. Maybe it's because a lot of people are not buying the hype and they're saying, okay, he's just overhyped, which I still don't think is the case because the kid has always been a winner from every level of football he's played. He's been a winner. Mm-hmm. And I think that's going to continue. I do think, personally, my personal opinion, I do think Lamar Jackson is going to be a Super Bowl a champion one day. That's just me. But
it could be.
I feel like you need to give him more to help him out. Give him some more. Give him a Tyree Hill. Give him a Sammy Watkins. Give him a Travis Kelce. Give him all the stuff that you see all these other players have. And then we can talk.
I'll tell you, man. I feel like if DeAndre Hopkins was up in Baltimore instead of Arizona, the conversation around Lamar Jackson would be a little bit different.
Possibly.
But we'll see. Playoff time's going to tell us.
I think some of the part of the hate is because of not leaving the first round. You got some. I guarantee you, if Peyton Manning or Eli Manning didn't get out of the first round when they were in the playoffs, they'll be kind of receiving the same thing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah, no, I hear you. But we'll see. The playoff. It's not about the regular season with Lamar. It's about the playoffs with him. So. We'll see, man.
Oh, it's about the regular season now.
Yeah, I mean, but they're still winning games, though.
Right.
So, I'm saying them getting into the playoffs is not an issue.
Yeah, all I know is Lamar Jackson doesn't make it out the first round. We're going to still be – the narrative is still going to continue because it's not for debate, and at this show, there's no passes given.
Shake with the crossover.
Yeah. By the way, make sure you guys tune in the No Passes Given.
We're making moves. We're out here growing. So we're doing our best out here.
Somewhere, I don't know.
I'll drop the link. I'll drop the link real quick.
Yeah. So since we're on the topic of the AFC North, the Pittsburgh Steelers winning streak is at risk right now by adding Ben Roethlisberger onto the COVID list. And y'all Hall of Fame coach last week nearly lost to probably the worst team in the league right now.
It happens.
The Dallas Cowboys.
Football is week to week, bro.
You said
Wait. Are you saying that he lost, or are you saying that
almost?
So
Football
almost
beat the
still
week,
counts
baby.
as a dub, right?
It counts as a dub, but
Oh, okay.
I'm just saying
That's all he does.
like
is
that winner
dubs.
that undefeated season was at serious jeopardy last week.
First of all, man, this whole don't worry about an undefeated season. That's not going to happen. It's like how you just brought up Ben Roethlisberger on the COVID list. There's too much unknown variables this season for any team to go undefeated.
Oh yeah.
But they're having a good run. He is a Hall of Fame coach. I mean, I don't know what else. Never having a losing season and being a Super Bowl champion as a black coach in the league where they can't even sniff a second opportunity, and this man does nothing but win. But we will address that hate later that you keep throwing his direction. That's more of a no passes given topic that I will explore tomorrow.
I'm just saying, why you support Javik? Why you keep supporting the cheater, man?
I'm going to turn you into a graphic, DeVore, if you keep hating on Tomlin.
Man, why you support the cheater? You know what you need to make the graphic give? Him tripping Nolan Carroll in the game against the Dolphins. That's what you need to make the graphic.
That's the coach, baby. That's the kind of coach I want to play for. My coach is gonna be a ride or die. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I want to play for.
I ain't trying to play for no Mike Tomlin. I'm not playing for him.
Hey, what about Mike Tomlin? Didn't he get an Emmy for the show House?
No, that's what's
this
his
man
name?
says Mike Tomlin look like Omar Epps.
Yeah.
My bad.
They are twins. They look very identical.
Oh man, the man said he looks like what was Omar Epps' name in Juice? Anybody remember?
Damn.
I totally forgot.
Me too.
Classic role by Omar Epps.
Damn. What's his name in Juice?
Everybody's like,
I'll look it up right now, but I
all right, chat, for your chance to win
Q.
the PlayStation 5.
Q. We don't have a PlayStation 5 to give away. His name is Q.
I'll give him the PlayStation box.
That bug is sold out right now. I'm trying to find me one as we speak.
Hey, I'll ship you a PS2 and a PS3 taped together.
Yeah. Nice.
I'll do you one better. I'll sell you the trilogy: PS1, PS2, and a PS3.
Talking about I got the next gen. Yeah, I got the PS6.
But do you think since Brian Flores with the Dolphins currently has a winning record right now, I'm hoping that we continue this level of success, and with Mike Tomlin being undefeated right now, that we're actually going to get more black coaches in the league next year.
Absolutely. We better.
Well, there's something very interesting today. The NFL ratified a rule saying that if your organization loses an assistant coach or a front office person to another team that hires them as a head coach or a general manager, then you will get a compensatory third round draft pick. So they're actually, and this has not been agreed to by the NFLPA, but this actually means like if you have like kind of like minority assistant coaches or people in places in your front office, and another team takes them away to promote them, then let's say like a team takes whatever the running backs coach, they take Studsville and they make him a head coach, then the Dolphins will get a third round pick as compensation for that. So they're actually trying to, with intentional movement, encourage other teams to look at black assistant head coaches and black front office people and actually give them that promotion that they deserve, instead of them, doing the Chris Greer route, being a dude for 20 years before you get your shot. Meanwhile, dudes like Mike Tannenbaum keep getting shots left and right, even though he's on TV right now. Another shot he got. So, hey.
Well, I'm not too sure if I like the fact that for black coaches to be hired, teams need to be rewarded for it. You know
I don't like that fact either.
Agreed.
But that's where we are. I don't like that as a fact of life, but that's where we are.
That's like
Hey,
bribery.
here you go.
Yeah.
Here's a compensatory pick just because you decided to take Eric Bieniemy off of the Kansas City Chiefs.
But also, there's an added element of it because I don't think it's going to lead to teams taking unqualified assistant coaches because essentially, let's say you hire a coach and he's not the guy. What's the point? I think they're just trying to encourage, like kind of like with the Rooney Rule now, where it's basically like the same assistant coach interviewing for the same job that he's never going to get. They're actually trying to. It's almost like the institutional advantages that like kind of white coaches have. They're trying to
But I also think
give that to
that's
black
why
coaches.
I think that because of how everything is set up, I think that actually also discourages a lot of the African American coaches from even trying to go at the head coach's position because it's been kind of a desperation where you're like, should I do that? I mean, I know I can do the job, but are they going to hire me for it? You know what I mean? It's kind of like, why go waste my time?
True. I think the original behind the whole Rooney Rule thing, I think originally it was like you're supposed to get them in the rooms with these front office personnel so they actually get to know them. So when it comes to like building your list of candidates, they're actually on the list.
Mm-hmm.
But now it looks like they're trying to take it another step further. So
right.
Well,
hey,
look at it
You know
this
what drove
way.
me crazy though? And I'm
What's
kind
that?
of glad because I'm a Gator fan. I ain't gonna know about it, but you know what? Even though I'm a Gator fan, it drove me crazy that Deion Sanders was willing and able to go to Florida State, and they turned him down.
that is crazy.
I'm like,
I don't even want to talk
can you
about it.
imagine? You know how many recruits you just threw away? You know
That's
how
I don't
many
even want to
recruits
talk about it.
the FSU will bring that
I
Deion
don't,
Sanders will do?
I don't even want to talk about it. I'm a Seminole diehard. I don't even want to talk about
That
it.
is nuts, bro. Like
You talk about a guy that built that institution. He made Florida State what it is, and they end up giving a job to Willie Taggart.
you telling me prime time shows up in your living room, you don't have a good chance to land that recruit?
Oh yeah.
Come on now.
Well, I,
And with all the
I can't
connections he has in the
speak on the
NFL,
college level. Would you say, Shake? Go ahead.
with all the connections that he has as for assistant coaches that he's gonna have coaching that organization. Oh man.
Yeah, I would love to have
I think
Deion
Florida
Sanders
State
sitting in
will
my
do
living
what
room to
they have to
recruit
do.
my son.
Oh, 100%. Prime time?
Oh man, can I get you a glass of lemonade? What else you need? I'm running to the store.
Hey,
You want some ribs?
I bet you this much though. There are some players gonna be going to Jackson State that usually wouldn't be going there.
Oh yeah.
So
Oh yeah.
that Deion effect is gonna work.
Oh yeah. Florida State most definitely missed out, but I was gonna say, I feel like, well, from the NFL level, you got to look at it. Owners and NFL execs, you got to think of as a who you know perspective. Do you think they're gonna sit down and, well, also the fact of who could they relate with? You really think some of these owners and some of these general managers can relate to a black dude? Like, come on now.
No, but that's why we need. It's just like in the real world with the racial injustice that we got going on. That's why we need more of them to speak up for us.
That's true.
That's ultimately what it comes down to as well. You need more of the John Grudens, the Andy Reeds, the whatever. If I'm somebody that's of that pedigree, that Bill Belichick and anything like that, every opportunity I get, whether my team look bad or not, I would make it a point in my interview process to glorify my coordinators or whatever the case may be, if they're doing their job well. Hey, listen, this guy DeVore, I know we had a bad game this week or we had a great game. Credit to him. This guy should be a head coach. I mean, you know what I mean? Something like that. It's just like these guys that go and get inducted in the Hall of Fame, and they find out a buddy of theirs is in the Hall of Fame. They go, "Hey, well, Zach Thomas deserves to be here with me." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You kind of gotta rally behind them. Like, you don't have enough. I don't see coaches in front of the TV saying that enough. They're not saying it. Maybe behind the closed doors they are. I'm sure they're probably sending a letter of recommendation saying, "Yeah, hire Eric Bieniemy," and whatever. But I think it needs to be like if the Kansas City Chiefs win a Super Bowl again this year. I think it's it would be only fair and only right of Andy Reid on live TV to say, give this guy a shot. Like this guy, you know what I mean? He deserves,
But a lot of times, it's not about what you say on TV. It's what you say. It's what you say when the owner of the team calls you up and asks you for a recommendation. But ultimately,
I'm pretty sure they talk, Havoc. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like, they'll be like, hey, what's his name?
Andy Reid.
Andy Reid. What's going on with Eric Bieniemy? How is he as the coach? Should we hire him? What you think? I'm pretty sure they have them conversations, but I think it's more of a comfort level for them. Like, I feel like, let's take John Lynch for the San Francisco 49ers, for example. He's the general manager.
Mm-hmm.
He's been in the locker room with black guys, so he has that connection with them, opposed to some of these other guys that sit down in country clubs and they talk amongst themselves. Like Shake just brought to my attention, was it last week, Shake, that you was talking about Joe Vitt and his daughter ended up marrying Adam Gaze? Like, it's those type of connections right there is
That
what gets
nepotism.
them jobs.
Mhm.
Like, you ain't see no black man sitting in no damn country club smoking no damn cigar.
Talking. Yeah. You're not at the country club talking about. My daughter's dating a cornerback for the Giants.
Right. So
You know.
so, like, until we got them type of, like, interracial things, we're not gonna we're not gonna have that.
But ultimately, it's a sad state of affairs when you
Yep.
have to incentivize franchises to act
And
in their
hire the
own
man
best
of color.
interest.
Hiring the minority.
You gotta
Right.
incentivize franchises to act in their own best interest.
Right.
Golly.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
like
man.
it's like 2018, for example, where you had like 4 candidates that were black to be head coach. You had Chris Richard for the Dallas Cowboys. He was a defensive back coach. You had Eric Bieniemy. You had Brian Flores, and there was one other one. I think it was damn. I just had it. It was on the tip of my tongue. But yeah, you had 3 of them, and one of them got a job, and that was Brian Flores. Thank God for Stephen Ross for being who he is.
Yep.
But these other guys, they only got interviews, and that's to the Rooney Rule. The Rooney Rule is flawed, big time. It only requires you to just get an interview, to sit down,
Right.
not
Right.
just be like,
Not
oh,
to
you
get the
gotta
job.
have him as a coach.
Right.
Yeah, and ultimately, you can't force someone to hire someone. I mean, the very least you can do is you can just say, hey, talk to the guy.
Right. And that's why I say to me, the added pressure behind that will come from being able to publicly commend these guys, accommodate them. Hey, listen, Eric Bieniemy, listen, I couldn't do this without him. Give this guy. What's so hard about that? Like, that takes 10 seconds to say.
Although it is very interesting,
It takes
particularly
a Peyton Manning to get him a job. Let's put it like that.
if you're a franchise and you hire a black assistant coach, you're getting a draft pick with it. You're getting an extra draft pick with it.
But that's defeating the whole purpose of it, though. That's my only issue of it.
But I think ultimately you're not going to hire a trash head coach to get a 3rd round pick.
You know what's not funny?
I think they would.
You know what's not funny? Jim Caldwell has more wins in one season than Matt Patricia has in 3.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
That's a fact. He's the most
And
successful
where's Jim
Detroit
Caldwell
Lions
right
head
now?
coach.
He's
not coaching.
he's sick right now.
No, he's out. He's healthy. He was looking for a job. He's looking for a job.
Oh,
He's looking for a
I
head
was
coaching
actually
job, not an
surprised that they let
assistant
him
job.
go. I actually was surprised that the Colts even let him go.
I wasn't.
I was. He was doing a great job in Indy.
Yeah, he did a good job in Indy. I was more surprised they let him go in Detroit after he took him to the playoffs, and then I believe it was the year after that he ended up having a losing record, and then they ended up letting him go.
Look at what
Lovie
Matt
Smith
Patricia-
got fired after a 10-6 record.
Yep.
Yeah, but you can also make the argument with Lovie Smith that he might have been in Chicago a little too long. That the message is getting a little stale with Lovie.
That's a good point, but granted, he hasn't. He was,
But he has not gotten another chance though.
Right.
At
Yeah.
head
No, he
coach in the
would
league.
have
Well,
Tampa
he's at
Bay.
the University of Illinois right now.
He would have Tampa Bay.
As a head coach.
Yeah,
Lovie
Tampa Bay.
Smith?
Oh,
Yeah, Tampa Bay.
Lovie Smith is in Tampa.
That was his second opportunity with Tampa Bay.
Okay.
Yeah, rather Rasheed Morris.
Well,
Morris,
Revis.
whatever.
He was there with Revis with the Tampa
you,
2.
right.
Okay. Because I know that he's coaching right now at the University of Louisville. I'm not Louisville.
Okay,
but
that's what's up. Yeah, he did actually.
So yeah, you have a lot of black head coaches out there that had opportunities. Like I feel like Hugh Jackson didn't have his fair shot. Marvin Lewis, I feel like he needs another shot.
Marvin Lewis was there a long time. That's weird. He didn't get another shot.
Yeah, like he brought success to Cincinnati, and Cincinnati is a bleep hole. So, so I feel like if you give him an opportunity with one of a better market team, where you can actually bring in some free agents, because you got to think about it. Marvin Lewis, he dealt with a lot of characters in that locker room when it came down to players like Chris Henry, Cedric Benson. Banks, who else did he have to deal with? Pac-Man. Like, come on now. Like Vontez Burfict. Come on now. I feel like Marvin Lewis definitely deserves another job somewhere else. I wouldn't count Ocho Cinco. TJ Husmanzada, though. I would put TJ Husmanzada in there because he was. I mean,
the only thing about Marvin Lewis is just at the end of the day, you gotta with that amount of longevity. I mean, bro, you gotta have some success in the playoffs, bro. I know he's been on the wrong side of the stick a few times, but hey, I'm not paying you all this money to keep losing in the playoffs.
It's nuts. He's the co-defensive coordinator for Arizona State right now.
Right.
Who?
Marvin Lewis.
I think Marvin Lewis is over. This podcast is being sponsored by Three Musketeers.
No, it's not. But Three Musketeers, if you would like to sponsor this podcast, please. I got bills.
Like I said, they don't make commercials for the Three Musketeer bar no more.
Well, I brought that up because of our favorite candy. So, hey, by the way, next time you're on here, you got to give us your top 5 hip hop, your five hip hop albums.
For me?
Yeah, you.
Okay, yeah, we can do that.
That's what's up. Yeah, man.
You gave ours, so.
Okay, I'll definitely get that. I know that.
My number 1 was Poison Clan. I know you heard of that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's round away, man. That's not too far over here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. It's interesting because I did on my show yesterday. I did top 5 it ended up being top 3 Miami Dolphin players, and I was out there trying to make the Hall of Fame case for Richmond Webb. Mm-hmm. But nobody wants to hear me. It's fine. It's fine. He's only He's only left tackle on the 1990s All-Decade team, but all right, he ain't a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, don't worry, bro. He'll be in there.
He needs to be in there.
We're waiting on Zach Thomas first before we talk about Richmond Rib.
I'm on board with Zach Thomas. I don't know why Zach Thomas
me too.
is not in the Hall of Fame. I don't get it.
Because they race it? No, I'm just kidding.
Because they race.
You know what's funny, interesting about Zach Thomas is Chris Sims does a podcast, the Unbuttoned podcast, and he was talking about Zach Thomas, and he says one thing that used to piss him off about Zach Thomas is that he would call his plays. He's like, what the hell does he know? How does he know I'm doing this? He said Zach Thomas is a very methodical person. He knows.
Absolutely. He played like it. Zach Thomas was little Ray Lewis.
I mean, the game's a whole lot easier if you know the play before it starts.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Just like we did the Rams 2 weeks ago. We knew all their plays.
Landon Roberts knew a couple handful of their plays.
Oh yeah, man. And the quarterback didn't make it any easier. Hey, but listen, man, don't get ahead of yourself, man. It's a long season.
It is. That's 100% true.
Long season, man.
You gotta take it one game at a time.
I know we're gonna be in the playoffs. I know that without a shot of a doubt.
No, you ain't. You ain't gonna be there. Who y'all third right now? Y'all third?
Yeah, I think we're third.
Yeah, y'all ain't going to the playoffs. That's it. That's just from what I saw from Kyler and the Cardinals. Y'all ain't going to the playoffs.
I can't wait till we play the Cardinals.
Me either.
Hey, we just wipe the floor with them, man. I hope y'all do something with them.
We got Seattle this week.
Y'all can have our sloppy seconds. Oh yeah, y'all got Seattle this week. Y'all, that's definitely gonna be a loss for y'all.
Oh no, we're gonna beat Seattle.
Hey, I'll make sure I wave at you when I'm sitting in the stadium for our playoff game.
Are there even going to be? Well, yeah, I guess there are people in the stands now.
Yeah. I'm gonna be there.
Okay.
I'm like, got my little poster. Hi, Ma. Hey, Banks.
I swear to God, if you actually did that, bro, I would never talk to you again.
That is pretty dirty.
It's going to be interesting what they decide to do with this the playoff seeding this year, because it's like only one team from each conference is going to have a bye week, and everybody else has to play out the first wild card week, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting, man. Particularly this whole COVID factor, man. You get into the playoffs and all of a sudden your quarterback ends up on the list. That could be your season right there.
I would cry, bro. I would cry.
That's the whole season right there.
Being Patrick Mahomes, you get COVID in a
Damn. And all of a sudden it's Matt Moore and the Kansas City Chiefs.
You get COVID in a Super Bowl.
You know what? I really think they will postpone the game until
you can't postpone the Super Bowl, man.
Bruh, there's no way. There's no way.
I predict this is gonna happen. What's gonna happen is they're gonna do what they did in the MLB, Major Baseball. Once they get the playoffs, they're gonna give them a bubble. NFC, you play here. AFC, you play there, and it's easier to contain 6 teams versus 32.
They're gonna have to bubble it up in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's what they're gonna do.
I don't know. There's way too many people to account for.
I don't know. That'd be very.
Well, I mean, how many people are in the playoffs after the first round? You can bubble it up.
Havoc, you talk about 53 players on each team, and not even including coaches yet.
Baseball did it.
Yeah, baseball did it.
How many
Baseball's
players?
got a lot more players.
How many players?
I mean,
on
no,
a baseball
football's got a
roster?
lot more players in baseball to deal with.
I'm just saying, you got offensive coordinators, defensive coordinator, quarterback coach, wide receiver coach.
But you know what, Tavor?
All these coaches.
But you know what, Tavor, man?
They can coach virtually. They'll be fine.
The Dolphins just won with half their coaches gone. So,
man, I don't know. Y'all tripping, man. I ain't going to no bubble.
But I'm saying though, just imagine though, I would be devastated if that actually happened. Kansas City goes to the Super Bowl and then they test Patrick Mahomes. He comes out with COVID in the Super Bowl, bro.
Now the two Super Bowl teams, yeah, they could go into a bubble, but not no damn 6 teams in the playoffs. They're not going to the bubble. 2 Super Bowl teams, that's it. But them other 4,
they'll postpone the playoffs. It's Patrick Mahomes because that's their main draw.
We talk about like if we going in the Super Bowl, we sign autographs. And then boom, headline: Patrick Mahomes on the COVID list. You a week away. You a week away from the Super Bowl. They are not playing that game. They're gonna wait for it to be healthy.
I think they will postpone that. I think they will postpone the Super Bowl. I think they will.
It's one thing to postpone a regular season game, but the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I think they'll postpone the Super Bowl, bro. If Patrick Mahomes got COVID the day, like they found out 2 days before the Super Bowl, man, they're not playing. They're not gonna postpone it.
They're not playing that game, man.
They're not gonna do that.
All right, y'all say so.
All the money that they lost during the regular season, they plan on making it back for the Super Bowl. They postponed that mofo.
All right, man.
Yeah.
Don't be too surprised. You watch Super Bowl, all of a sudden you see Ben DiNucci's name come back up.
I don't even want to talk about Ben DiNucci because it's insane that Colin Kaepernick is still without a job.
Yeah. Garrett Gilbert is out here throwing the ball.
I like Gilbert. He's good. He was actually he was fun to watch.
He looks a lot better than the rest of that crew of quarterbacks they got out there.
Thank God Andy Dalton's coming back.
you in a tough situation when you saying that.
Wait a minute, he is. And guess what? They're still not going to the playoffs.
That team cannot stop anybody.
Oh no, who the Dallas Cowboys play this week?
They cannot stop anybody from passing this year. That's all I know.
They're done. Dallas is done. Stick a fork.
That's not Andy Dalton's fault. Who they got this week?
Well, even though it's not Dak's fault.
I'm not saying it's Andy's fault. I'm saying that's the reality. In a passing league, they can't stop anyone from passing.
I hope they draft Trevor Lawrence too.
They
let somebody else have him.
Oh, they got a bye week, I think. Yeah, they got a bye week.
Oh, they got a bye.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll
Bye week
gladly,
is scheduled to win by 13 points.
I'll gladly like to see Trevor Lawrence in a different division than ours. I
Yeah,
wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind
have
having
in the
having.
NFC East.
I wouldn't mind having to go against Cam Newton for the next 5 years. I'll take that.
Oh, that's dead. That's not happening.
Damn.
Yeah, I don't
I
think
hope
Cam's
it,
coming back.
He ain't coming back. The man signed a 1 year, $900,000 contract. He ain't coming back to New England. To be honest with you, I don't even think he's gonna be playing football after this season. To be honest,
You think so?
he ain't playing. He ain't playing very well now.
You find a job. He'll find a job.
I'm just saying.
Cam need to cut his hair and go back to being Cam, man. Ever since he got those dreads and
Yeah.
his new sense of style.
Ever since he started showing up to press conferences looking like the Mad Hatter, he hasn't been the same.
The Bad Hatter.
Cam Newton's been on a wanted poster since the Super Bowl when Von Miller.
And Cam Newton looked like Road Dogg from Don't Be a Menace.
hoping he improves, man. 'Cause I love Cam, but man,
I love Cam too, but look what it took for him to sign with the New England Patriots and for the amount that he signed for. So
absolutely.
if you're not successful with the New England Patriots, that's not really looking good on your resume moving forward with the other 31 teams in the league.
But everybody know the Patriots don't have. I mean, to his credit though, the Patriots it's the same team Tom Brady had last year. They weren't that successful. They don't have nothing, bro. Their offense is stale.
I'm glad you decided to bring that up because I don't think the New York Jets have much on their team either. But y'all want to blame the head coach.
I don't know how much more creative Josh McDaniels can get with that offense.
Yeah, no. When you just don't have talent, you just don't have talent.
Yeah, man.
All right, listen. I want you to do this. Do me a favor. On your Twitter feed, and I'll retweet it. I want you to we're going to do a survey. Who do you think is a better coach, Adam Gase or Mike Tomlin? Let's see who.
Oh, that's no contest.
That's a layup.
That's no contest. You just sit back and look at the resume. You gonna automatically go with Tomlin. I'm taking resume over anything.
Yeah,
but you know what? I'll do one even better. I'll do one even better for you. Who is a better coach, Cliff Kingsbury or Adam Gase?
Nah, give it Kingsbury.
Clearly, Adam Gase.
What?
Do that survey. Let's see who comes up the winner.
Yeah, and whatever the poll results are, please.
I'm not doing that. You know why I'm not doing that? Because people just go off the hot hand. That's why I don't like doing those.
Any poll with that says Adam Gase and coaching, he's gonna lose in.
Right. I saw a poll from a Miami Dolphins fan that put in who is the worst Miami Dolphins coach of all time: Cam Cameron, Joe Philbin, Adam Gase, and I forgot who the other one was. 60% voted. Nick Saban, yes. 60% voted Adam Gase.
Oh, that's just revisionist
definitely.
history.
That's
just revisionist history. Clearly, Cam Cameron was one of the worst head coaches I've ever seen in my entire life, without a shadow of a doubt.
Man,
when a guy comes up,
it goes Cam Cameron, Joe Philbin. Then I would probably put Nick Saban in there. Then Adam Gase would probably be last.
I don't know if I put Gase over Saban, but all right.
Saban ain't taking some playoffs.
Put Gase over Campbell. I can tell you that.
Who?
I want to put Gase over Dan Campbell.
Dan Campbell ain't. How many games he win? Two
he
games.
He won a couple games.
Three games.
Dan Campbell won a couple games.
Dan Campbell was the last coach that I actually enjoyed watching a Dolphins game.
That's a lie. That is a lie. That is a lie, Shake. You know why that's a lie? You was cheering right with me when we was in the playoffs.
We barely won any of those games. All those games, I'm thinking, I aged 10 years that season, man, because of all the damn close games we had.
Havoc, can you believe what he just said? Because I don't believe it.
I mean, look, the Adam Gase years, successful at first, became quite irritating towards the end.
You can't blame that on him, though.
I guess I can.
Why?
Because I don't understand how you get more experience as a head coach and get worse at the job. That's what Adam Gase is doing right now.
When you lose your starting quarterback, you're not supposed. Well, you're still supposed to win.
I thought he was supposed to be the QB guy.
He is the QB guy, but when you have Bleep at the quarterback position, what you supposed to do?
He has not done anything with Sam Darnold the entire time he's been there.
Well, maybe I'm just saying. Look at the weapons that he got.
He brought in too. Don't forget that he brought him in.
Who bought? Hey, when it comes down to it, nobody want to sign in New York. That's just what it is. You can't blame him for that. At least he went in the second round and drafted a receiver. He knew that was a need. So
somebody wants to sign for New York, and nobody wants to sign with Adam Gase.
Hey, nobody wants to go to New York. Let's just keep it. Let's keep it a buck, right? Keep it a buck. Nobody wants to start in New York.
No. And particularly, I mean, here's the problem. Adam Gase has a bad reputation amongst elite players. That's his biggest drawback. Like if someone, like if a dude goes to Jamal Adams and says, "Hey man, tell you what you think about Adam Gase," it's not going to be a glowing review. Well, that's Adam Gase's main problem. It's his perception.
Like I said, I feel like it's just a narrative everybody holds on to be honest.
But I will give Adam Gase this. One thing that I am proud of Adam Gase is that he finally gave up the play calling duties to his boy Dow Lawson, and they've improved a lot since they doing so. So now he's actually becoming a head coach instead of a play caller. I think if Adam Gase was to take his head out of his mind, I think he'd make a good head coach. He's a smart guy. He knows the NFL. It's just that he has a massive ego. If I guarantee you, if he humbles himself, I think he'll make a good head coach.
Oh, ain't there's no better way to humble yourself than going 0-16. That's a big old slice of humble pie.
Good. Okay, so that's the next question before we end up making this Thursday night pick and calling it.
Yeah.
Do you think the New York Jets are going to end up winning not going 0-16? Now they'll
win one game.
They have the Chargers next. They have us, the Dolphins. They have the Raiders. They have the Seahawks. They have the Rams. They have the Browns, and then they have the Patriots again.
Browns, Patriots, man, that's their best chance.
No,
that's their best chance. Nah, man.
I think their best chance is the Rams, to be completely honest.
I think the best chance is with Miami too. Don't forget.
That's a lie.
Hey, I'm keeping it. You know me. I'm keeping it 100. I'm not saying.
Hey, so what's the Thursday night game, man?
Division games are division games. I don't care. One thing about division games, you got to throw records out the window.
I agree. I agree with you, Shake. I agree with you. But it ain't coming against us. I throw the New England Patriots on that.
But they can beat us. They can beat us.
Yeah, for what I saw, yeah, they can. Yeah, they
Look,
can.
man, I wouldn't be surprised, man, if the Patriots are looking rough towards the end of the season, man. I wouldn't be surprised if Bill Belichick, suits up one of his sons to play quarterback, trying to secure that draft position. So, we'll see.
They had the game against the Patriots in the bag. Just Joe Flacco threw a stupid pick.
But then Joe Flacco lit it up the last Jets game, though.
Yeah, he threw that stupid pick, and I really was thinking it was, hey yo, we try to get Trevor Lawrence. Stop, we can't win this game. Come on, cut it out, throw the pick. That's what I think. That's what happened, and they just try to make Adam Gase the scapegoat.
The Jets just have so little talent, man. They just can't do anything, man. They just can't do anything this year. And then you add the leadership of Adam Gase on top of it, man. It's
oh my god,
not a winning formula.
Oh my god! All right. Before we close it out, Thursday night game: the 5-3 Indianapolis Colts against the Tennessee Titans, 6-2.
Whoa! We finally get a good Thursday night
game.
Yeah, it's a good game, man. I'm definitely watching this. Got to see Tannehill and the Titans. They
a lot of ball control in this game.
I don't know. Titans have not been looking that good the last few weeks. Give me the Colts.
I mean, he's right. They have not been looking too good the past few weeks. Man, that is actually an intriguing matchup. But I'm gonna go with the Colts, man. I'm gonna go with the Colts.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Colts.
Mm-hmm. Let me see the battle of the number 17s. You have the number 17 with DirecTV and the other number 17 with cable. Where's they playing at?
Tennessee.
Tennessee.
I'm gonna go with
Tennessee.
Who?
Titans. Tennessee.
Okay. Well, we in
Home with
agreement
Jack
then.
Daniels.
I'm going with Tennessee too as well.
What?
I don't even think I needed to even make my pick. I don't even think I needed to make my pick.
What?
I don't even think I like. I'm just saying they're Super Bowl contenders.
No, you don't have to say anything, bro.
They
Just
get-
understand, you pick the Titans every game. They would be undefeated in your eyes.
Yep. I was on. And you know what was funny when we ended up doing the Cincinnati and the Titans game? I was this close to picking Cincinnati that game. I was this close.
I told you, baby. Burrow. Joe Burrow. I can't wait to get my Joe Burrow jersey, bro. I
Joe
can't
Burrow.
wait.
Hey, I'm gonna have to wait a little bit on the Joe Burrow jersey.
Oh no, I'm not.
He
He's
get
throwing the
beat.
ball around a lot. He's not winning a whole lot of games,
He's-
but he's
but
throwing
he-
the ball
My
around.
second Cincinnati Bengals jersey that I own. I used to have I want to say Chad Johnson, I believe, but I'm especially happy about this one. Joe Burrow.
Nah, I need a little bit more protection for Joe Burrow before I go out and buy a jersey because he just one big hit away from not being the quarterback for the Bengals anymore.
He's
He
the
takes a
toughest
lot of
SOB
hits.
in the league.
But but
He
if
get
he takes
blasted, bro.
he takes a lot of hits, and
that's bones, man.
that's what scares me with that, man. I got the same thing with Carson Wentz. That's why I had to drop from my fantasy team. I'm like, yo, this boy take a lot of hits. I don't think that's sustainable.
Yeah, he about to die.
Yeah, no, they're David Carring him right now.
Oh my
Right.
goodness!
Or
Like that's really concerning.
man, my phone
But-
died so quick. Wow.
Oh well.
Yeah.
With that being said, final thoughts before we close it out.
Man, I'll lead it off. As always, you know, it's fins up all day, every day. Pleasure to do this again. Come out here, chop it up a little bit. Thursday night game actually looks like a game you'd want to watch. That's encouraging. So we'll see, man. Look forward to talking about it on Saturday. The results of the game. You know, we'll start digging into these Sunday games as well, man. As always, man, I appreciate the opportunity to come on. Fins up.
Yeah, and I just say good to see Banks, and I hope everything is going well with you, and hopefully you will be here this Saturday. You know, Milkshake is going to be making an appearance. You know,
Hey, you know what, Shake? You know, I'm gonna give you a compliment, man. I don't know what you done did. You done changed the internet or something, but you've been looking smooth today.
You moved a little closer to the router today. It looks like.
That's yo, Shake, I got your back, bro. Hey, y'all my boy, man.
I appreciate it.
Y'all my boy, man. It's a whole virtual thing right now, bro. Relax. But yeah, man. And man, it feels good to be back, man. I know I've been off for, like I said, for a few weeks. I thanks, Shake. I appreciate it, bro. Like I said, it's been a lot going on the last few weeks personally in my life, but I'm very glad and I'm thankful. And most gratitude goes to my Lord and Savior, man. I've actually been getting back into my spiritual beliefs and stuff like that, and a lot of good has been happening in the last few weeks, other than the bad stuff. So I just got to continue to keep my head up and rise against all that negative stuff. But I thank y'all, man. Thank you guys again for coming out and supporting the podcast. Chat, thank you so much for just being here every week, man. Especially our loyal listeners. Man, thank you guys so much. Everybody that's been with us from day one. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Share the videos. Tweet it out there. Also, don't forget check out my boy Havoc's podcast on the for the No Passes Given. As he mentioned, he's gonna be streaming this another episode tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really good podcast. I actually like it. I watch every episode.
I appreciate it.
So it's a really good session, man. Keep doing what you're doing. It's gonna grow.
Watch out for that one dislike, because you know who it's coming from.
Yeah, that's just me on your videos. It's always you know that one dislike is always me.
It's as long as you watching.
But yeah, man. Thank you guys. You know, just continue to look out for one another. Congratulations, we got that orange man at the office.
Hey now.
I'm happy about that.
Well, maybe or maybe not. We'll see. We'll see.
Nah, he's gone.
Well, can I say one more thing before we close it out? Because I was subscribed to the Sun Sentinel newspaper for I think the past 6
Still
months.
get the paper?
Well,
Wait,
I
you,
was
you get a paper? What?
nah,
What?
I just read the articles on the internet because
Okay.
I couldn't see what was going on in training camp, so I had to find some type of way to read this stuff. But
You can have the paper delivered to you though.
I don't want the paper, man.
I haven't held a newspaper in like
Trying
10
to take
years.
care of the environment. That's like we in the 21st century. Everything is on the internet. But anyway, like I be reading a lot of different articles when they be coming across my phone notifications about a lot of crazy stuff that's going on in Florida. And I saw on the news today that they were voting on should y'all shoot looters if they're robbing somebody. Like I saw something like that, and like 60% voted yes. So like I'm just like what is going on in Florida, man? Like what is up with that?
Look, man.
Florida is Florida, bro.
Look, there's a motto down in Florida, man. If it moves, shoot.
Dude, I'm not kidding you. I remember when I was living in this was in Miami Shores. I was living in Miami Shores. I read online.
I used to live in Miami Shores.
Yeah, I remember this guy was a homeless, like Camilla's. You know, Camilla's house. It's a homeless thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Camilla's house.
Over a slice of pizza.
I mean, that's listen. And I understand that everybody has rights and whatnot, but I mean, shooting people ain't the solution for everything. I mean, golly.
I ain't gonna shoot nobody for somebody just trying to take a gumball out the gumball machine.
You gonna shoot
like,
someone over some shoes from a
All
store
I
that
know
ain't even
is-
yours?
Any looters that are watching this
All right.
podcast, holla at your boy on the Xbox, man.
but if you happen to come across a PS5,
Holla at your
I'm
boy.
riding with you.
Holla at your boy.
you'll be compensated
All I know is-
substantially.
If you happen to be around a GameStop, holla at your boy.
Yeah, if you just happen to see something, just
I'm
now,
not
Keep
telling
me
you
in
to do
mind.
it.
Keep me in mind.
disclaimer.
Yeah, no
We do
passes
not
given, but I
condone
will.
looting on this podcast.
It's no passes given, but I will shoot you the Venmo. So.
Holla at
Also,
your
I
boy.
have an agreement. I have an agreement with people. You don't break in my house, I won't shoot you. There we go.
Yeah, that's a fact of life. That's a fact of life. I hear
Well,
you.
some stores are people's houses. Like when I go in to make deliveries, I see a little thick pad waiting on the floor where they be sleeping in some of their beer and wine stores, man.
Yeah, man. With all that being said, man, you got a problem, talk it out. Try and talk it out.
Moral of the story. So, with that being said, this is not for debate. We out, man.
Peace.